Join us at the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention, March 23rd through 26th. We'll be at booths 1113 and 1114, decked out in cosplay, selling the latest Angel of Death merch. Tickets are available via the link in the description. Hope to see you there.
Hi everybody, welcome to the new week of the Composition of Imagination. I am your host and author, Stevie Jo. These are my fabulous book guardians, Tasha and Jason. And all month long, we have been celebrating Angel of Death because this is the second year, March is the second year anniversary of publishing In the Beginning, which is my debut novel. So I have as a fun thing to do, I have decided to let them take the reins on discussion topics. And last week we talked all about the origin all week long. And this week we're going to be talking about archetypes. So we are just going to dive on in and see who has the first question, comment, whatever you want to do.
Okay, since we're talking about archetypes, what was your driving influence coming up with like the different archetypes? Like, look, we've gone through them in earlier discussions. You know, did you consciously have that idea of framing your characters based off those particular ones, or was it something as you just started writing, you had the character in your head and you were like, okay, and then as you started writing, they sort of conformed to the different archetypes we've talked about in the past, Ezra.
Yeah.
Tall, dark, dangerous.
Yeah. It is definitely the latter. I did not go into this with any character in mind for a specific type. I was just like, these are the people that I want involved, and this is their personality, and I just kind of want to see where this takes me, because even though I know what's going to happen, I'm kind of along on this journey just as much as you guys, because I get really into it when I'm actually writing the book and everything, not just doing the outline or the little work before it, but the actual book writing. I get really into it, and I even kind of surprise myself with, ooh, that would be good. I should do that. That character needs to go through this. So I did not necessarily, I think that subconsciously there was an influence there because of my love of major fantasy, and they definitely, pretty much all fantasy,
they always fall into it.
And because I studied it in college, so I think it's subconsciously there, but I didn't actually sit down and go, well, here are the archetypes, and I think this person goes here and that person goes there. Maybe we've got two of this one. Like, it very much, everybody just kind of tripped on it and fell into it.
Yeah.
And just kind of became who they are. Yeah,
because like you said, your original idea for Ezra was that he was the hero.
Yep.
Wow, how the mighty have fallen.
Yes.
And
what is like your favorite archetype?
Archetype.
Thank you. Not just in your books.
Yeah.
When you read other people's books.
I am a big fan of two different kinds. I like I don't want to call them the secondary hero, because that's not what they are, but I kind of call them the underdog hero.
Right.
Like, for example, again, Middle Earth, Samwise.
Yeah.
He is the underdog hero. Everybody's like, well, Frodo destroyed the ring. Well,
he wouldn't have got there.
Exactly. So I'm a big fan of that secondary, like, coming in to help support the main character. The reason being because I don't believe that anybody can make it through this world alone. Right. Not a damn person, whether you think you can or not. That's just my opinion. And you always have to have that one person, no matter who they are, that one person that's like your biggest champion, and they're there for you no matter what, through thick and thin. You can put them to the brink of death, and they're still going to be like, but I love you and you can do this. And that will bring you back from the fires of hell and be like, all right, I can do this. And in turn, I always feel like the main hero should do the same thing for the secondary hero. You should be complementary to each other like that. So that's my big favorite one.
When, again, going back, I have noticed in a lot of the books that you got the hero type, you have, let's say pseudo damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have two different kinds, because you got Peyton, definitely, and you got Sky to a certain degree, depending on what
she's like the resistant damsel in distress.
But what's interesting about both of them is that they're actually two kinds. You got the damsel in distress, but you also got the female hero type at the same time in both characters. Did you, again, was that another thing you fell into as you were writing and went, you know what, that's interesting, and where they can go back and forth? Especially Peyton's case, she could go from being a hero type to a complete train wreck in less than 30 seconds.
I can relate.
I definitely fell into it with Peyton. She was not originally supposed to play as big a role as she has. She was gonna just be a support for Skylar, and occasionally would be that damsel, because I felt like Skylar needed to be constantly proving to the reader that she is up for the task. She doesn't know what the task is, but she's up for it.
And you needed Peyton to be the foil?
Kind of, to help show her the way. But then I kind of just fell into, with Peyton's relationship with Wesley, her devastation with Derek, all of that stuff, it just kind of turned into this whole, okay, so Peyton and Skylar are two sides of the same coin. Yeah. Like, they are, and that's, I think, what sisters actually are anyway. But with Skylar, it was all very intentional, because I have always believed that if you love your main character, you must put them through hell before they can earn their freedom and their, like, ultimate happy ending. You know, you can't have a fairy tale ending without some shit. So I feel like you have to... Skylar was very intentionally described that way, because she needs to be strong, but it drives me bananas when you see movies and stuff, or TV shows or whatever, where the main heroine, the woman, they're trying to be like, we're super, like, feminist, and we love women, and we want to show how strong you guys are, and there's, like, no flaws. There's no... She's not afraid of anything. She's not... I didn't want, and I consciously, every time I put pen to paper with Skylar, I consciously am like, how can I hurt her today? And that sounds really mean, but nobody skates through life perfectly. Yeah. Everybody falls. And sometimes her reaction is, all right, I got this. This is fucked up, but I got this. And other times, she's melting down because she's like, I can't do this. For example, when she finds Ava's body at Alchemic Falls, and she has the merfolk bring her body up, and she's trying to bring her back to life, knowing she's already dead. Her personality really starts to, and her drive, because her words to Derek are something like, I want to make this right. I want to save her, but I don't know how. And so she kind of melts down. And that's really important to me, because she has to learn those lessons. She can't just have Daddy tell her how the world works. You know, because he has tried sheltering her, he's tried guiding her, and she still gets hurt. And she
You were talking about Noel.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Elias.
No, I was talking about Noel.
I was like, oh, that's what she calls him now.
No, we're not doing the kinky thing.
Well, then.
Although if that is her kink, more power to her, but we can't judge.
Okay. through 4 books.
Yeah.
We know how frustrated she is.
I know.
Okay.
But Noel is who I was talking about. And she, he has tried to shelter her from the bad because she's faced so much bad already. And he feels like she deserves a break, but she can't have one because how else would she grow?
Okay. She's had a bad go that we know of.
That we know of.
I mean, that he knows of.
Well, her bad...
And that's the thing about these characters is that they're almost like shells.
Yeah.
You see this person and this person and this person, but then depending on what the situation is, they're completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like Noel, he's the fire and brimstone pastor. No,
those were the pastors of old. Noel is the more progressive.
He can be, but when the townspeople show up,
yeah.
And let's see what's Skylar going to do today. I want to see some fireworks.
Yeah,
that's what I mean by the fire and brimstone.
Yeah.
He'll sit there and be really into his sermon and stuff, but he can't save his marriage.
Well, remember it was falling apart before the
exactly.
incident. But he doesn't. So to your point about being the shells, that has a lot to do with the magic, because you find out in book 4 that Noel's memory was altered, and Skylar doesn't really belong in it from before the incident. He was in the process of divorcing Cordelia before the incident happened. And then the incident happened and it was like he never did it in the first place. So that's kind of what makes these characters so dynamic, in that they're almost like shapeshifters.
In a way, yeah. Because look at Elias.
Yeah.
He's been around forever, comes back, and how he comes to Merlance, Mer County, Alchemid Falls,
Mm-hmm.
around the same time Azer does. And
shortly after the incident.
Again, that incident, everything, that when that comes out, that's going to be something too, because that's a type.
Yeah.
As well. It's the big bad boogeyman
Mm-hmm.
of the entire series right
Mm-hmm.
now. Everybody talks about it, but nobody knows what the hell happened.
Yeah.
They just said it's Sky's fault.
Yep.
I mean, there was actually no details, at least up until this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet conspiracy stuff, which was very compelling, yes,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's true. It's still it is the boogeyman.
Yeah. It is.
And like I said, you've thrown in so many classic. I don't necessarily want to say tropes, because it's not really tropes. You can see parts of it,
Yeah.
but overall it's not tropes. But familiar things that
Mm-hmm.
you can easily latch onto,
Yeah.
and go, ooh, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. And that goes back to my desire to make this. I kind of wanted the Angel of Death series, even though the name of it sounds like really foreboding, and like it goes back to, I kind of want it to be like comfort food. I want you to read this, and it's something new because it's never been made this way before. Yeah, we've probably had books about heaven and hell and stuff before. I know a few off the top of my head where angels come to earth and all that, but it's never been told like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like those books were unique to themselves, this is too. And I wanted it to be like a comfort food where you've just got that like nice warm bowl of mashed potatoes and gravy, and you're like, this is so good. I've never had it made with this ingredient before. And you just keep eating it. And that's kind of, it's an unintentional, intentional thing where I'm like, I'm not purposefully telling myself these things need to go in it, but I'm also writing what I've read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or writing, when I say writing what I've read, I don't mean like the plot or anything.
Right.
I mean like the feel, the archetypes, the feeling of tropes and all that stuff. They're familiar things that we like to read. So why not include them in this? That's why it's fantasy romance, not just fantasy, because a lot of these tropes and stuff comes
Indeed,
from romance.
Well, to a certain degree. I mean, when you throw magic in on it, the romance kind of goes out the window.
Yeah.
But
magical realism is actually the technical subgenre that these books fall into.
I do like that.
But I call it fantasy romance because not everybody knows magical realism is a genre. It's a subgenre of fantasy. So,
and the more you know.
Exactly. So, well, I think that's a good place to end this first video this week. We'll pick up tomorrow with more about the archetypes. So be sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single episode in our fabulous Angel of Death celebration. Go buy Angel of Death on my website, link in the description. And all month long, we are doing a 20% off your entire order, every item in your order, if you order directly from StevieJoAuthor.com because of the 2-year anniversary celebration. So be sure you go on there and do that, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Catch up on the Angel of Death series today. The first 4 entries are now available directly at StevieJoAuthor.com.